Hey everyone, it's Tommy from the Goalie Crease Network, and today we're looking at the Promasque XDK Air. Now this is an extremely innovative pro-level mask, and the reason I say it's innovative is not because of its construction, although it is extremely well protective. It doesn't have a lot of flex to it, so it's pretty sturdy. The reason it's innovative is because of a neat feature that's inside this that will guarantee you a perfect fit every single time. You can't tell here, but I have an unusually small head. This hat right here is adjustable, but the hat that I probably usually wear on here is actually a youth medium to large hat. So I don't have a large head. This is a large mask though, so the question is, why can this still fit me extremely well without shaking? And the reason why is because of its very innovative air bladder. So what I want to do is show you what the air bladder looks like outside of the mask. This is what it looks like. It just looks like a big thing of plastic, but it's extremely innovative and it's very simple in how it works. So when the mask is on you, and I'll do this here for you in a second, you actually take off this end cap, take that off, blow it up, pinch it off, I'll put the end cap back on. You can now see that it's blown up. So this actually allows you to have a perfect fit every single time on your head, regardless of the size. Now, that said, this mask comes in 5 different sizes. So, you always have to go back to Matt and ask him, what size is best for me. But, if you are a younger player, maybe a high school player, and your head will probably grow by the time you're a senior from when you are a freshman, you can probably just have one mask and just keep updating your air bladder as necessary. Now that said, I've never had any problem with the air bladder at all either, but I've only been using it for about 6 or 7 months, so I can imagine over the course of 4 or 5 years you probably need a new air bladder. You might need to fix a couple cracks or chips somewhere, and Matt can absolutely do that as well. So let me show you the inside of the mask. By opening it up, you can see here that there's a sweatband inside, and right underneath the sweatband is where the air bladder is. So I'll show you how it works when it's on your head. So I'm going to put these straps back on, and I tend to like my helmet very tight, so you'll see that here. I'm going to go ahead and drop the air hose down from its padding. It has a special notch in the padding, and you can put it out the porthole right here. And here we go. Okay, it's on my head, and I'm going to take the end cap off here. There we go. And I'm going to slide it in the side, and I'm just going to blow it up until it feels comfortable on my head, up here on the forehead in the temple area. There we go. Pinch it off, and put the end cap back on so it doesn't lose any air. Perfect. Now I can take it off. Now we still have this hose out here, so what I'm going to do is make sure that the end cap is on perfectly. Put it back through the vent hole. And they have a special notch inside the padding, which is absolutely great for making sure that it's out of the line of your head. It's not uncomfortable, it doesn't slip down or anything. There's also a little cloth strap that's on the inside that keeps it in place the entire time. And now, it just looks like any other mask. Now, the question is, how often do you have to do that? I've been using this mask again for about 6-7 months, on and off, since I try a lot of things all the time. I've only had to blow that up once, and it stayed there. When I was talking with Matt, he said, it can stay that way for years. Now, it's completely up to you and your comfort and your fit. I would probably recommend redoing it every month or so, and that way you just make sure that it's perfect for you every time that you're out there and it's nice and safe. But that's absolutely great that you get a perfect fit every single time. The fit for the air bladder, again, is around the forehead and the temple area, and that way whenever your head is in the mask, it doesn't jiggle. You can go post to post, it doesn't jiggle, it doesn't hit your head in weird areas. I also like to use a dangler, and so because your mask isn't jiggling around, your dangler doesn't jiggle around as much either. So it has wide-ranging benefits. Now I also want to talk about the durability of this mask. It's a little bit on the heavier side compared to a lot of masks on the retail market today. That's not a bad thing at all, in my opinion. And I was talking with Matt about this. Matt is the president and the owner. You're going to hear me talk about him a lot. He is such a nice guy, but we'll get to that later. But I was talking with Matt about that, and he's like, no, you're absolutely right. And he gave me this absolutely hilarious story about a defense contractor who made special materials. And he actually took it upon himself to try to make a goalie mask that was more protective and lighter, and he couldn't do it. This has several layers of Kevlar amongst other materials, so it's definitely in line with your typical very high standard Promasque. But this thing is durable, it's nice, it's very well balanced. So even though it's a little bit on the heavier side, if I put my hand in it here and I look for the balance point, it's right about here. And that's absolutely great, because you don't want a front heavy mask, and a lot of masks tend to be front heavy, especially if you go with a retail mask. A lot of them tend to be front heavy because of this metal that's up here, but perhaps it's because of the back plate, which is also extremely protective. It's very well balanced. Even though it's a little bit on the heavier side, you never feel it when you're out there. Within minutes of pregame, it's just like any other mask that's on your head. And you definitely don't feel that weight is there anymore. Now, this one also has a cheater cage, which I actually really liked. I've pretty much used cat eye cages exclusively for the past probably 6-7 years, and then before that I used a certified cage for college. So I've absolutely loved this, the cheater cage. I don't know if I'll end up sticking with it, even though I do like it. The vision is very good. But I'm just used to a cat eye cage, so I'll probably end up sticking with the cat eye, which he has cat eye and the regulation cages as well. So you can get whichever one is for your personal preference, but the cheater cage is definitely a really cool perspective, and it's really hot on the market right now since it does allow you very good vision while still pretty good protection compared to a cat eye. So even though this mask is extremely durable and extremely protective, haven't had any problems whatsoever, and it's also innovative, has the air bladder in it, I think the real selling point of this mask is actually the owner. Matt Garland is the owner of the company, and I've spoken with him on the phone a couple times, and he might be the nicest guy that I've ever met. And we have very similar philosophies. I'm a business owner too, and he is as well. And we both have this philosophy that we do right by the customer. He only makes about 200 masks a year, and they're not custom molded to your face. They're with this mold, and that way it ensures your durability and your protection. But where he really comes through is in customer service. He's the kind of guy where if you broke a strap or if you broke a ring, he'll send you one. If your air bladder breaks, he'll work you a deal. He's that kind of guy. He is just so extremely passionate about masks. He's been doing it for 47 years, 23 as a business. Dwayne Rollison's been wearing, these masks for 17 years. So these are extremely great masks, but it comes with an even better person. He's just so passionate about goaltending and about goalie masks in general. It's actually really inspiring to talk with him on the phone. If you get a chance, even if you're not really considering a Promasque, talk to Matt. Talk to him about masks and about durability and about the stories he has about it. It is extremely inspiring, and I bet you'll be on his side pretty quickly. So I definitely recommend the Promasque XDK. This is his top model, his pro model. If you are in high school or college, semi-pro, pro, you should definitely check out this mask. It sits very comfortably on your face, extremely protective, very durable, a little bit on the heavy side, but still very well balanced, and that's why I really like it. And then again, you get Matt Garland with it. And I'm not joking when I say that I really enjoyed our phone conversations and just how nice he is. If you talk to anyone in the industry, they'll tell you the exact same thing. And I've actually had a couple friends on our goalie board and elsewhere tell me about their stories with Matt Garland. and he's just an absolutely great guy, very inspirational. So I definitely recommend just, give him a call and talk hockey with him for a while, and I have no doubt that he'd be welcome to do that. So definitely pick one up, go to his website, and thank you to Matt and Promasque, that's Promasque, Promasque, and check out the XDK and other models that he has. One other part about Promasque that I do want to point out is that they also offer paint. They have 2 in-house painters that do absolutely great jobs. Now you can see here this is just the straight black, and they're actually going to go ahead and paint that for me, and I'll be able to update this review in a later review about their paint. I have seen some pictures and I'm very impressed with their in-house paint jobs, so I'm going to get something really cool done, and I'll update it later. So I'll see you all around.